the stance that I've taken, the stance that 90% of Americans, and I would imagine 99% of elite level athletes have, that men should not be in women's sports. It's harmful to women to allow such.
People have been speculating, is Brittney Griner actually a female or a male? Now, Brittney Griner actually does play in the WNBA, which is a women's basketball association, right?
I think there's probably one other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together.
Pops.
About to be a pops.
You know, not everybody has that smooth coming out, but, you know, once you do it, it's like a light came on me, on the inside, around me, everything. I felt like I was Brittney Griner.
Riley Gaines is back, but this time she's going directly at the WNBA. She claims league officials force players to stay silent about Brittney Griner's real gender, telling them, "Don't speak, don't ask, don't make it a thing." Since going public, Riley says she's been blacklisted, sparking questions about what's really going on. Gaines has been on this crusade since tying with Leah Thomas at the NCAA Finals, but this feels different. She's framing it not just as fairness in sports, but as a safety issue. And if she's even half right, the WNBA could be in trouble.
While relieved to be back on U.S. soil and back on the basketball court as she resumes her position as center for the Phoenix Mercury, Griner is forever changed by the experience and says she won't put herself in such a vulnerable position again.
Well, I can say for me, I'm never going overseas to play again unless I'm representing my country at the Olympics. You know, if I make that team, that would be the only time I would leave the U.S. soil, and that's just to represent the USA.
Riley's not just talking speed or strength anymore. She's claiming real women are getting hurt in the WNBA. Now she's accusing the league of covering up Brittney Griner's real gender and forcing players to stay silent about it. That raises the bigger question. Why is the WNBA protecting her so aggressively? If Riley's even half right, the fallout could be massive lawsuits, congressional hearings, players suing for fairness, and fans walking away. On top of that, Griner's entire legacy, her medals, championships, all-star titles, and records would be questioned. People might call to strip awards, recount stats, and even disqualify wins. That would shake the league to its core. And when you look back at her first championship speech, proud and emotional, it hits differently knowing all this controversy could be looming over her legacy.
My take is just about the least controversial take on the entire planet. It's described as an 80-20 issue. I think it's more drastic than that. I think it's a 90-10 issue, if not even more than that. 90% of Americans, of course, believing that men don't belong in women's sports, but for saying that out loud, publicly and unapologetically, you're really met with some of the most hostile and oftentimes violent encounters that you could possibly imagine.
Now, imagine the league having to act like that first championship moment never happened, as if all those milestones, medals, and records no longer count. That's just not realistic. And here's the big one. Brittney isn't just any player. She's the player, the one who survived a Russian prison. The one the US literally negotiated for like an international arms deal. That's not just sports news. That's global headline energy. The whole internet was screaming "Free B," like it was a full-blown movement. When she finally returned home, the WNBA treated her like royalty. Right after her release, Brittney made it clear how deeply the experience affected her. While relieved to be back on US soil and resuming her role as center for the Phoenix Mercury, she admitted she wouldn't put herself in such a vulnerable position again.
And for us, it's really a celebration of diversity and inclusion and a recognition of an audience that has been with us, very passionate.
She didn't just bounce back. She returned with purpose, pride, and an entire army behind her. So when Riley Gaines throws shade, it's not just at a player. She's coming for the league's golden girl. And here's the sting. If any part of what Riley claims is true, she could effectively win the entire biological fairness argument in one move. She's been making that case for years, insisting trans women shouldn't compete in women's sports. If Brittney turns out to be the smoking gun, it validates Riley's entire movement, which explains why the league is doing everything it can to silence her. In the next clip, Riley lays it out herself, and whether you agree with her or not, you'll see why the WNBA might be panicking.
Like in that particular jail,
the mattress had a huge blood stain on it, and they give you these thin 2 sheets, so you're basically laying on bars. From middle of my shin to my feet, stuck through the bars, which in prison, you don't really want to stick your leg and arm through bars, you know, because someone go up and grab it, break it, twist it, and that's what was going through my mind.
you were only allowed one roll of toilet paper that had to last you a month.
There was like 2-3 months where we didn't get anything.
And the toothpaste had expired, what, 15 years?
It was like 15 years ago. That toothpaste was expired. We used to put it on the black mold to kill the mold on the walls.
To break any Russian laws. I made an honest mistake, and I hope that in your ruling, that it doesn't end my life here.
And where you're heading to, it's called IK2,
IK2.
known as one of the worst prisons in Russia.
Yeah.
What were the conditions like there?
Really cold. It's a work camp. You go there to work. There's no rest. So I'm picking up these big beams of fleece and cotton and silk. You put it on this machine and you roll it out 100 times. Clamp it, cut it.
Now, the second Riley Gaines aimed that message at Gurrier. The WNBA didn't just ignore her. They iced her. If it was fake news, why the blackout? But it's not just about the WNBA. Guess who's tied to them at the hip? NBA. Big Brother NBA co-brands, funds, and co-signs all their major campaigns. Through all this noise, they've said nothing, not a word, which makes people wonder if they're helping keep it buried. If the WNBA is hiding something this big, the NBA doesn't walk away clean. And this hits the league's brand identity hard. They've spent years building an image of being inclusive, progressive, pro-LGBTQ, and pro-trans. But if Brittney's actual gender has been hidden, that narrative collapses. Former WNBA president Laurel Richie has proudly stated the league embraces the LGBTQ community, both on the court and in the stands. Yet now, starting this week, the league faces a massive credibility test.
Swaggy, Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Jab stepping, Mr. Brick. Swing and a miss.
If this cover-up theory is true, the league's inclusive by design tagline will crumble. Lawsuits would hit fast if Griner's gender was misrepresented on rosters, medical forms, or international paperwork. It's not just a PR scandal. That's fraud, breach of contract, and potentially a federal issue. Investigations, lawsuits, cancelled endorsements, the fallout could shake or even collapse the league. If Riley Gaines is even half right, this isn't just a scandal. It's sports history rewriting itself. The controversy began during a WNBA game. Phoenix Mercury versus Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark took a hard foul, normal on-court tension, but Brittney stormed off with full energy. A courtside mic picked up what sounded like her yelling, and Riley immediately jumped on it. The audio was fuzzy, but Riley immediately turned it into a headline. Has posted the clip on Twitter with a quote in bold, caps locked, dripping in outrage. A reminder of who we traded for the Russian merchant of death. The internet jumped in to dig deeper, and they did not disappoint. First up, Russian prison records. When Brittney was detained overseas, many assumed she was in a women's facility. Multiple sources revealed she was actually held in a men's prison, a detail that sent conspiracy TikTok into overdrive. Brittney herself described the conditions, explaining why the space didn't fit expectations. Obviously, that doesn't confirm anything, but the vibe was enough. People started side-eyeing everything. The big question: did the Russians know something the US was tiptoeing around? And if so, why has the WNBA never addressed it? The silence spoke volumes. Then came the IG story: Brittney shirtless, walking around with no scars, chest tape, or compression vest. Just a flat, smooth chest. The post stayed up for 2 years unflagged, unblurred, untouched. Now, here's the clip everyone has been reposting, pausing, and zooming in on. Now let's be real. If anyone else posted that, AI would have flagged it in seconds. But for Brittney, silence. Stack that with the Russian prison rumors, the media blackout. Riley getting iced out, it looks less like coincidence and more like a carefully protected narrative. She's been frozen out like she leaked a federal indictment. Meanwhile, the league suddenly makes time for Caitlin Clark's fans, launching an internal probe over some spicy tweets. While Brittney cusses out an opponent mid-game and gets nothing, not even a weak PR post. Riley called out the double standard, and the internet agreed. Reddit and TikTok commentators started digging, connecting dots. Overseas fans claim Brittney was listed as non-disclosed on old international rosters, and IG clips show her shirtless with no compression gear, scars or blurs, yet the league stayed silent. The longer they stay quiet, the messier it gets. No matter your stance on Riley versus Brittney, the WNBA is choosing silence over clarity, and once this slips out, it's not just the W that's in trouble.